everybody, happy Thursday. Today is another day of Katie FAQ, or pretty much I take all of your comments and questions and then I come up with a good one and one that's been asked a lot, and today's is definitely one of those. And I contemplated doing coffee and a chat, but it's really late in the day and I'm already highly caffeinated because I did a live stream earlier. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hey Katie, how do we know if we need inpatient or more treatment other than just outpatient? I thought this was really an interesting topic and something that's really good to talk about. And that's why, let's pretend it's coffee and a chat, but it's really water in the afternoon with Katie. I'm not even thirsty, but you get my point. How do we know we need more care? What can that care look like? Let's start at the beginning. Let's start with, I'm having a hard time. I'm going to reach out to a therapist and I'm going to start seeing them. Things are kind of getting a little bit better. I'm starting to talk to someone. I'm starting to realize maybe the vast amount of my life that has been overcome with depression or eating disorder or self-injury urges or any of those things. And at that time, we may talk to our therapist a little bit about what we're feeling and what we're noticing. Because often I find a lot of my clients, when they first come to see me, they won't really understand or realize how sick they may be. And I don't mean that as like a put down or anything bad. It's almost like it takes us so long to get up the gall to ask for help that often it's gotten really, really, really bad. So much so that we're extremely impaired and we honestly don't know what else to do. So we reach out and it's almost like a last ditch effort instead of it being our first thing to do. And I blame the stigma for that, but that's a whole nother video and I actually have one about it. I'll put it in the description. But because of that stigma, we may be really, really ill and we don't even realize it. And so our therapist usually will let us know, hey, you should probably see a dietitian, or I'd like you to get checked out by your primary doctor, or medication may be something we need to look into since you're having panic attacks every day. Let's talk to a psychiatrist. All of those things are like what I would call the first step of needing a little more care. We're still outpatient, yes. Outpatient meaning, if you're confused about that term, because I know I use a lot of terms and it's important to identify and define them. Outpatient means that you live your regular everyday life and then you go for your appointments. So I go for therapy and I come home. I go to see my doctor and I come home. That's what we mean by outpatient. Now, as a clinician, I always refer my clients to see their doctor, see a psychiatrist, etc. And so that's something that I'm always going to be doing if I think they need something else or if I want to get something checked out, because believe it or not, thyroid issues, all sorts of different medical conditions, not to mention chronic illness and things like that, can really affect our mental health. And so as a therapist, it's important for me to get an assessment from a regular doctor or psychiatrist to make sure that I'm taking into consideration everything and understand fully what's going on with you so I can give you the help that you need and deserve. After outpatient, so let's say that that's just not enough and we find ourselves getting progressively worse, and therapists at some point may say, I can't keep seeing you like this because you're a danger to yourself and I'm gonna have to refer you to a higher level of care. And they usually give you a window, like I'll give my clients like 2 or 3 weeks, depending on the severity, for them to contact an inpatient facility. I'll give them referrals, then they can go, talk to them, see them, do the interviews and the intakes, and then they get put on the wait list. And I will continue to see them until they can get in. Sometimes there's no wait list, sometimes there is. So that's kind of the next step. Now, inpatient also comes at various levels. It could be a couple days a week, it could be 5 days a week, it could be living there, it could be 7 days a week, 24/7, we're in a facility. And at each step of these, I hope you can kind of understand why you would need to take that step. That being that if we're not getting better and we're actually progressively getting worse, I don't mean we're going through a stressful time and so things are really hard. I mean it just continuously progresses downward. And we're getting more and more sick and we're struggling even more day after day after day. That's when we need more help. And that's really it. I wish there was a more intensive, in-depth thing that we could talk about, but that's really the truth. And as a therapist, that's what I worry about most. I want my clients to be doing well. I want them to be progressing. I want them to be able to do the behavioral techniques. And if I feel like they just aren't getting better and things keep getting worse, then we would that would be the first things we talk about, a higher level of care, what that would look like. What are they comfortable with? What can they afford? There's a lot of facets, but if you're not getting better, things are getting worse, that means you need more support. And the truth of it is that the sooner we reach out and get the level of care that we need, the sooner we start feeling better. That's the truth. And so that's really important to remember. And I think it's something to consider, that if your therapist has told you, hey, we should start considering, start looking into this, we should start considering inpatient or considering, a higher level of care, whatever that can look like, a day program, really consider it. Really look into it. I know it's hard. I know it's scary. I know we don't know what to expect, but I have a video, I believe, about it. I'll put in the description about inpatient and what that looks like. And if you want more on it, let me know in the comments. I'd love to make an entire video about what inpatient and hospitalization can look like and feel like and what to expect, because I know that often we're just really scared. And that's what I hear most from my clients is, I'm just really scared. What does it look like? So know that it's honestly just like making your first therapy appointment. It's not as scary as we think, and there is help available and through insurance. And if you live in other countries, most of things are covered almost fully. We usually have to meet our deductible and then it's covered. So know that help is available. We can make it happen. And if you need more support, you just need more support to get better. And that we're all different, right? Our road to recovery is going to be different. It's a process, not perfection. I hope you found that helpful. I know getting to a higher level of care can be really overwhelming sometimes and really scary, and I hope that just shed some light on it and helped you feel more at ease at the decision that you may have to be making. And before I end this video, I would love to showcase your art. I get such beautiful art from a lot of you. You send it to my P.O. box, and I've been wanting to find a way to share it. And if you noticed on Monday's video, at the very end, I put someone's art that they had sent to me and told her thank you so much for creating it and sending it. And I'm going to continue to do that. So if you would like your art to be showcased, and my P.O. box address is in the description. And when you send it to me, let me know who you would like me to say it's from. I know a lot of you don't want your real identity shown, and I always want to keep your confidentiality. So let me know. Would it be a Twitter handle, Instagram, or just your first name? I'm happy to do whatever, but send me your art. I would love to showcase you. All of you are so wonderfully talented. It's just so amazing. And lastly, if you haven't had a chance to pick up a copy of my friend Hannah Hart's book, it just came out 2 days ago. It's wonderful. I'm only 2 chapters in, but I absolutely love it. She talks a lot about mental health and her own experiences with it, and I really just think that each and every one of you would really love it as much as I do. And I will see you all later. Bye! I had to wet my whistle.